Says that the greatest revival, the greatest evangelistic campaign in the history of the world took place in Nineveh. It was a city probably of 600,000 people, less or more, it's according to which commentary you read. And the whole city, from the king on down, repented. The king took off his robes and stepped down from his throne and got down in the street in the dust, in sackcloth and ashes, and repented of his sins. And God had mercy upon not only the king, but all the people, and all the people were saved. That could happen here.
Who were secret followers of the true God. They didn't believe all that hocus. They had a guilty feeling about it, but they were afraid. They were afraid of standing up for God, afraid of standing up for what they believed to be truth. And so they didn't take a stand publicly. You see, Jesus demands a public stand. That's why I ask people to come forward. He demands a public stand. You can't be a secret follower of Jesus and please Him. He said, if you're not willing to take your stand publicly and openly, I'll not take my stand openly for you in heaven, and without the intercession of Jesus Christ, none of us would ever make it. He said, make a decision. He's saying this: I was the victim of the American dream. I'd been brought up to believe that when I found success, I would automatically be terribly happy. We've all taught that. Well, I got the success. I'd spent 21 years believing that as soon as all these wonderful things happened to me, my troubles would vanish. Well, they didn't. It was a big disillusionment, she said. And she's only 21 now. 21 years thinking that if she made it on television, and she's famous on television and she's famous in motion pictures around the world, that she'd be happy. She said it's been a big disillusionment. Fear not, because Christ has come, and He makes all the difference. Because Christ has come, you need not be bound by fear and despair. You can know that all is calm and all is bright because of Christ. And I will remember their sins no more. God can forget. God can forget your sins. What does God forget? God never forgets. In the paper constantly. In the Charles Manson case out in California, those young women that followed Charles Manson were converted to him, so the newspaper said. But the rain falls on the just and the unjust. There was a classified ad in a newspaper which read, for sale, Encyclopedia Britannica, never used. My wife knows it all. Young people searching for something, anything to find peace and happiness in a world that seems to have gone mad and insane. Nothing seems to make sense to some of our young people anymore. And then and many of the people that are your heroes, and many of the people that you think are at the top, are really in their hearts at the bottom. Searching. They don't find it in all this popularity. They don't find it in all the adulation. They don't find it in all the popularity. They don't find it in money. They don't find it in some other philosophy. But they can find it in Jesus Christ. And so can you. Has been affected by sin. You cannot trust your mind. You cannot trust your conscience. Your conscience has been like a compass that's broken. Your conscience is dead. Or what do you trust? You trust Christ by faith. Then He resensitizes the conscience, and He comes and opens your understanding so that you understand. Suppose God would forget, because the Scripture says that God holds the whole universe together. And if God ever took His hand off, it would blow to pieces. In the same way, you are converted to Christ. You must be converted, not to a system, not to a philosophy, not just to a church. You are converted to the person of Christ until Jesus Christ